Welcome guys to another international esport racing here at Abu Dhabi. This is the no assist tier round 21. This the tier finale. With me I have the amazing DXT Nevo, who has basically jumped into his old slot really. Nevo, how are we today?
Yes, all good, thank you. How are you guys?
Not too bad, not too bad. Hoping for a competitive race today, as we have got a limited grid right now.
Yes, having a few battles going on would be rather nice, but we've got quite a decent grid of drivers, to be fair.
Well, yeah, we've got like Scotty Harris and Johnny Stokes. They're always quite close together. Freddie Martinez, I'm sure he will put in a good performance. Ken Doyle as well. We've got some races that I'm not too sure if you're aware of, as F. Alonso and Krusty T, which does not sound appealing, I'll be honest.
Yeah, that sounds a bit dodgy, especially being an English person. You can't be messing with T-Man. But yeah, I don't know either of them, so I'll have to get to know them.
Well, Krusty T has been with us for a couple of races, but F. Alonso, this is the first time I've actually seen him, so it'd be quite interesting to see how he performs today and see where he would fit in next season.
Yes. Yeah, actually it will be nice to see, because obviously before whatever happens, however they decide to do the tiers, evaluations or whatever, see what pace he can put in his final race. Because especially compared to when you got Thierry, Johnny Stokes, Scott Harris, Fred Head, Joe, Kenny, Chiru as well. Got some quick drivers in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Thierry now setting a 133.4. Still needs to take off another 2 attempts to be anywhere near non-humans time of a 133.2. I think it was a 299, which was absolutely fantastic time that non-humans put in. What was? Can you remember what the fastest time was on Tuesday?
Not this quick. I think it was a 133. Wait, what did Shrew do? I'll tell you what, I can't even remember. I don't think it was that quick though. Yeah, I think it was. I want to say 133.6, but I'm 100% to be assured of that.
So, with the championship standings so far, so Thierry is the championship winner with 315. Ken Doyle in second with 232, and Joseph Roberts in third with 229. So second and third is basically up for the battle today. So eyes on Kenny and Speedy today. Speedy needing 3 points more than Ken to take that.
Playing around with strategies. Like 1 stop, 2 stop as well, so it'll be interesting to see what he does today.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one of he's quite unpredictable when it comes to strategies. Is Speedy, especially as of late, he has been choosing different strategies from everybody else to find an edge, and for some reason, it's still ended up pretty much close between himself and Ken Doyle. We have Mano with 193. So he's pretty much guaranteed. He is guaranteed. Fourth, Johnny Stokes. Scotty Harris with 154, and Johnny Stokes with 131. Dennis Collin 123. Freddie Martinez 114. So those drivers, they're still battling out there for the remaining point positions there. We've got Rolly Shields with 52. Anthony Guerrero on 28. We've got Chris Murphy on 24. Dijon Fabrice on 15. We've got March Trisandi on 15, and Nicky Niemanen on 8. So yeah, I think I might have messed that up, but no, I think I got that right. But yeah, see that there is it's quite interesting really, how that is going. But Thierry now sitting there with in the Red Bull. He needs 17 points more than the Williams combined to take Red Bull to the top step of the drivers' constructors, because Williams is in the lead with 461 and Red Bull 444. Ferrari have sealed it at third with 285. Mercedes in fourth with 217. Racing Point 204. So those two still battling out. Haas on 136. Renault on 87. AlphaTauri on 50. Alfa Romeo on 30 and McLaren on 8. So still a couple of changes could be done in this last race, but with everything the way it's going, it's going to be yeah, absolutely. He's going to have to win it with a fastest lap and hope that the two Williams score low. But with 13 drivers on the grid, I don't think that's going to be.
No, he's going to need one of them to probably crash out and then the other to score low.
Yeah.
Which the fact that it's speeding Ken is probably not going to happen.
No, not at all.
So yeah, I mean, it's doable. Don't get me wrong, it is doable, but it just could be very unlikely. Interesting to see that Alonso did that time, the 123.8 on a set of mediums. That's a nice lap on a set of mediums.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now we've got Thierry out on his out lap again on a set of softs. Looks like he's committed to start on the softs then.
Yeah, so we've got Charoux, who's jumped into second now with a 133.8 on the mediums. And that's actually a very nice time, and I think Charoux could take off another couple of attempts off that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what he used in terms of tyres for like Tuesday and even like in the Friday league. I cannot remember.
Izzy's just jumped in and said, he said, it's first of all, Alex, I'm really not getting my money's worth on that sub. So apparently you're not.
Oh yeah, to be fair, that's because I haven't streamed since. Look, Izzy, I promise you there will be more content coming. 100%.
And Izzy's putting the fastest time of the week was a 1:32.842 by Julian on Wednesday. So still a big chunk to take off, really, for these drivers.
Yeah, I mean, that's 1:32.8 is a savage time. I think
Vedran just spun there, coming out of turn 14. If I got that, yeah, turn 14.
Yeah.
Well, this is one of those circuits I forget what the corner numbers are. I have to work it out dead quick. You remember a few corner numbers just because that's the key areas for overtakes or battles, but then you've got to work out the rest after that. So I don't normally do this, but I think what we'll do, we're going Dreidel, T&E Harry, aka Dreidel, to come aboard, go on board with him, as he's doing actually no, I'll tell you what, I'll do Scotty Harris, more consistent driver, and we'll do a lap run down, and I think I've just got an echoey there.
Yeah.
How's that now?
I think. Yeah.
That's better. So we've got Scotty now Harris starting off on this lap now, so he's heading down to turn 1, turn 1 being a virtually 90-degree corner. Watch out for that outside curve because you will lose a lot of traction if you take it too much. Around turn 2 onto turn 3. Turn 3 has this outside curve here with turn 4, which is a death curve really. Turn 5 and 6 here, the chicane, which will be gone in the new season. Round turn 7, which will be shallowed out with the new with the track updates for Abu Dhabi, onto this first of the DRS straights, and this is one of the longest DRS straights in the calendar. Very wide too, so there is multiple lines you can take as we now head into turn 8 and turn 9 of the second chicane. Now this is leading on to the second DRS. This is one of those corners where you've got to really hit the line perfectly around turn 10, even though it's not really a turn, as people will call it. Onto turn 11 now. around turn 12 and 12:30. So that is a double chicane around turn 14. These are the 90-degree corners. Joe blunt them down to make it a bit smoother. Around 15 and 16 onto 17. 17 is one of these corners you've got to brake hard because it's so easy to go off track. Around 18 and 19 underneath the hotel bridge. Around 10, 20 and then onto 10, 21, which you will see a lot of drivers exceeding track limits on the exit of 10, 21 because it's so easy to go off. Scotty does a very nice, but it's quite a slow lap for him with a 1:36.5.
Yeah, that is actually quite off the pace for Scotty.
Yeah, even on this medium tyres, I do expect him to get at least knock 2 seconds off that. He would be up there with Johnny Stokes.
Yeah, I think a 134 something is about where I'd expect him to be as well. Ari was on a lap. He's now invalidated and spun going into the pit lane, but it's managed brought him out of it luckily. But he had his lap compromised by crushing T in one of the corners, and then he had a few almost spins as well going along it before we validated.
Typical dreidel. I don't give Harvey a hard time, but if you're spinning as much as he does, then you'll understand why.
Yeah, he's like the Mazepin of eSports world, isn't he?
He is. We were me and Curly were discussing this on Friday. We were naming people in CTFL who we thought the drivers were. So if we do it with these 13 drivers. We've got an age, so compared to modern and pre-modern F1 drivers. So F1 drivers in the last few years, let's say.
Okay.
So let's start with Thierry.
Okay, I'm trying to think of the most consistent driver. I'm gonna go Sergio Perez, because I feel like Thierry doesn't always qualify that well, but in the race he's always really solid. His qualifying's got better recently, but I would say I'd never. It's not that I don't expect him to be like get pole, but I would say he's never usually on pole. But in the race, he'll pull out a win or pull out a really good finish.
So who'd you say that he would be?
Sergio Perez.
Sergio Perez. Okay, I could go with that. So what about you think about Chiru?
Fast Maldonado.
Yes, I could see that. Aggressive, hyper-aggressive.
Hyper-aggressive, but yeah. Chiru's got pace.
When he's because Maldonado was quick. He was a quick driver. He just made mistakes. So we'll talk about prime Maldonado.
Prime Maldonado, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, a bit more respect to Chiru now. Chiru's probably quicker, but yeah, with the aggressiveness and the odd mistakes.
Yeah, so we'll skip F Alonso because we haven't seen him race. Obviously, he's looking for Fernando Alonso. But if he's excuse my language, if he's a bellend on circuit, I'll give him it. But so Freddie Martinez.
I haven't seen him race enough, I don't think, to really put him to a name. Like, I know he's got pace, but I don't know if he's consistent or.
I think he's a Danny Rick.
A Danny Ricciardo.
Yeah, he's got a Danny Ricciardo kind of style. He does put in some amazing overtakes at times, but yeah, he's not consistent to be a podium sitter. Johnny Stokes. Charles Leclerc. I would go for Charles Leclerc for him, straight up.
Yeah, I can see that.
I know that the Ferrari is like Ferrari as well, but he is definitely a.
Johnny Stokes is quick. So yeah, I can see a Charles Leclerc.
Izzy's put Grosjean at Lotus. Who's that for? Izzy?
Chiru. If that's for Chiru, then I was going. If that is for Chiru, I was thinking Grosjean at Lotus because that's when he was a liability. But I feel like Grosjean turned into quite a composed driver, but then he wasn't overly quick. He was quick and erratic, maybe because of the car at Lotus, but he was quick and erratic, and then he kind of, I would say, maybe lost a bit of pace, but was more consistent and trustworthy.
What do you think about Ken Doyle then?
Kenny D. I feel like he's more of a prime Raikkonen.
I can agree with that, because prime Raikkonen, he made mistakes, but then he climbed right back up to battle.
Yes. He was quick, and even like if he messed up, he could always get back. Like I've seen Kenny, like, you know, have to pit on the first lap for a new wing, be behind, like back of the grid, and come back and like win. So
yeah, that. Yeah, Kenny D being a prime Raikkonen, definitely. Tilly Massey, Magnussen.
Throwing shade.
He makes mistakes. He's got okay pace. And Magnussen at McLaren.
Okay, I can see that.
Not at Haas.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
As he said, Ken is Seb. I'm sorry, no, he's not Seb. Seb does not make the recovery drives that Ken Doyle does.
Seb was never good at
recoveries. He was good at holding and winning races, but
yeah, Seb was good and he was quick. He only really recovered like once around, I think it was around Brazil. Other than that, he was never really prolific at coming back if something went wrong. And he also, if Seb made a mistake himself, he wouldn't really be able to get back into it. He would proper daff himself.
So we've got Speedy. Who would you say Speedy was?
Speedy. See, it's different this season because he's upped his race pace. Beforehand, like last season, he was always really good in qualifying and would fall off in the race, and I would have gone George Russell.
Yeah.
But now it's a different story because he qualifies well and he's good in the race.
As he just passes a wheel that's in the middle of the pit lane as well.
So, Speedy,
I'm thinking more of a Lando Norris at the moment.
I was thinking, I don't know if this is a bit of an insult, but I was thinking of Bottas because he's up there and he can win races, but you kind of think, I don't know, because Bottas has those things where he'll just be really good at a track and he'll do like incredible.
See, I just think, but I couldn't.
It's hard because he's in the Mercedes. That's the problem. That's the thing about Bottas. He's in the Mercedes, so he's meant to be up there. Whereas obviously this is level of pegging.
Yeah, I'll be honest and say it's like I can't really see him as being a Bottas because Bottas is inconsistent with at the moment. But what I'll do just before we carry on the conversation, we're going to run through the grid right now. So we've got Thierry in first, we've got Speedy in second, Johnny Stokes in third, we've got Chiru in fourth, F. Alonso in fifth, Ken Doyle in sixth, Freddie Martinez in seventh, we've got Matty G in eighth, we've got Ari in ninth, Scotty Harris in 10th, Krusty T in 11th, Decky in 13th, and Vedran in Decky in 12th and Vedran in 13th. Bit bizarre to see Vedran, Decky down that low compared to Ari being up at 9th. And Tini Matty D doing really well considering he's quite new to no assists. Oh, Webber. Is he shared Webber?
Well, for
Speedy. I could see it. Because
I can see it. I wasn't thinking far enough ago, to be fair.
I wasn't thinking that, but like then again, you got to figure. Button. No, because Jenson Button was one of those ones that Jenson Button was one of those drivers. He was great when he started at the front, and only ever done brilliant from the rear when he needs to pull out the bag. And Speedy doesn't show that kind of thing. He shows consistency now at the front over the last 10 races. It's been quite consistent near the front.
I suppose.
Whereas Button was always up and down. Button had the best recovery drive in the world, 5
he
pit
did.
stops at the back at Canada, and then managed to win it. But yeah.
Well, Webber is a good shout though.
But Webber, I can see the Webber. Who we're missing off that we know of. Well, Ari would definitely go giving him Mazepin.
Yeah. Did we do Scott Harris?
Yes, we did. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Scotty Harris. I haven't watched him as much this season as I did like the season last season and the season before. But
so it's one of the, I'm gonna go for it, but not giving the guy credit where it's due. Nico Hulkenberg. Given Nico Hulkenberg the right car, he would perform very well, and I think Scotty Harris would be another Nico Hulkenberg.
Yeah, I can see Hulkenberg. I can see Hulkenberg. I kind of feel bad for Hulkenberg. Like, Hulkenberg was always decent, and he was just never given a chance really by a good team
until now.
What do you mean?
A dirty rumour, because Ocon has signed a 3-year deal with Alpine.
Yes.
Which means Ocon will not be moving over to Mercedes.
Yeah.
Which means that if Lewis Hamilton goes, Russell takes that seat, Bottas is going, and the next 2 drivers in the list is either Nico Hulkenberg or Van Dorn.
Oh, not Van Dorn.
Van Dorn is...
Isn't he racing Formula E?
He is. He's doing well at Formula E.
See, Van Dorn's had his chance in Formula 1. No, I just didn't think... You know, like when you see some people coming, you're thinking, oh, you know what? They can be sorry, like Shinoda, for example. Shinoda's got pace. He just needs to work on his mistakes. That sort of thing. Like, you see people like, okay. Van Dorn never really set the world up. He wasn't bad, but I don't think you'd want to slap him into a Mercedes.
See, what I find is that any driver goes over to Formula E, you can't bring them back over to Formula 1. It's a completely different type of race. They'll do well at race circuits such as Monaco and Baku. Maybe
Singapore.
But you can't expect them to do well at circuits such as Austria, Silverstone. Izzy said bring back Hulk and Pascal Wehrlein. Wehrlein's another driver who's over at Formula E. Never given a proper chance.
Done dirty, to be honest. I think Wehrlein looked good. See, I mean, obviously, there's still the rumour with Bottas, like he could be gone mid-season.
Absolutely. Drivers are now
come up.
Drivers are now setting up on the... So, would Bottas go down to Williams, or will Williams bring in Jack Aiken?
I don't think. I mean, I think Williams would like to have Bottas. I think they'd be happy having Bottas. I just don't think he'd want to.
Yeah. So we are waiting for the lights now as everybody is geared up, ready to go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. They're out. No, now they're out and go. A little bit premature there.
Speedy there.
Oh, that is a fantastic start there by TP, as there is a little bit of a tussle there behind them with the McLaren and the Williams, and Chiru has made the jump into second.
And Matty Green's out already, spun coming through turn 2. He's obviously got onto that inside curb there and lost the back end. Very easy to do.
And a VSC now, so speeding now.
Harris.
Scotty Harris picking up a penalty.
Yeah. Some VSC BS going on right now.
Yeah, definitely. So this is one of those races now. We're going to be sitting there for a little while the VSC does sort that problem out. Anyone remember Jolan Palmer? Jolan Palmer was
wank.
Should never have been in an F1 car.
He was just not good enough.
No, but that was pre super license. So but that's the same for a lot of drivers on the grid, really. Max Verstappen would never have ever been in F1 if super license was a thing. Neither would Sebastian Vettel or Lewis Hamilton. Actually, no, Lewis Hamilton would have just made it.
Yeah, he was old enough, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was. He won the. He just made it. He won the F2, didn't he?
F2. Yeah,
well, GP2 at the time, but Vettel would not have made it. Yeah, a lot of these older drivers would not have made it. So now we're starting lap 2 now. This is a full paced lap now as drivers are back racing again, and Ari is in the pits. Is he retiring? He better not. As he goes in, sticks a set of mediums on and a wing change. His one-stop strategy has gone out the window.
And I think Becky's had enough by the looks of things.
I will be honest. I don't think Ari expected himself to be qualifying in the top 10.
No, he may not have, to be fair. But when there's only like 13 drivers, you've got to expect the unexpected, really.
Absolutely. So Decky now on the hards. Now, Izzy's tried the hards out and said they were really tough on Tuesday. I never bothered. You commentated on the race on Tuesday, so how did you feel that race went?
I mean, to be fair, Tuesday was quite a good race. There's quite a few good battles. In terms of the hards, not many people picked them. In my own experience around here, I just feel they take too long to heat up, and you go around for too many laps, just losing so much time, and then by the time they're back into it, you don't gain enough. The only person which I think done well, I think it was Charu, who had them on. He was pretty quick on the hard tyres, but he's always quite quick on those sort of tyres, on the harder tyres anyway. I think he seems to make them work.
Well, that was the same for Boat earlier today. Boat did really well with the hard tyres around there, but you find that let's say the more capable drivers tend to make the most out of the hard tyres rather than I'd call myself an amateur driver like me who just could not use a hard tyre whatsoever.
Oh, sorry, Decky's sliding all over the place.
Well, I was just about to say the same thing about Thierry, because Thierry had a little bit of a slide going into turn 5 there.
Did he?
Yeah, not much of a slide, just the back end slipped a little bit. But
we've got Alonso here going up the inside of Charu, and Charu not really fighting it, letting him get in head, or almost pushing him around that corner there. But he does get the job done, so is Charu going to come back? Let's see. DRS wide open for Charu.
Ooh.
So that was kind of, I don't know what happened there, if that was a tap or just a bit of an aggressive move there, but Charu manages to get back on the inside here.
I think that was F. Alonso tried to break the break the toe, and then tried to get himself back in to block Charu from getting past. But obviously made them the choice to move back a little bit too late. Charu was already in there, but luckily F. Alonso seen that and backed off that quick.
Yeah, that could have ended quite badly actually for both of them. So Thierry's put it away. Oh yeah, that's true actually. Could have been a bit of a... Or as Joe picks up a penalty. That's weird because on Friday, Joe didn't pick up a penalty at all, did he?
No.
So the fact that he's got one already is quite surprising.
It's one of those circuits that you find that the some drivers will pick up penalties when they shouldn't have picked up penalties. And then, so I think it's just him pushing himself a bit harder, knowing he needs to get to basically stay on top of Thierry really to keep the drivers as a virtual safety car. Is that because Decky's gone?
Yeah, Decky's lost it.
Yeah, that was up at 10 on the exit of turn 19 before turn 20.
Yeah, easy to do there actually. There's quite a few places it was quite easy just to lose the rear end around here.
Jack Stegall is coming in with, what's the chances? I've never met or seen Alonso race, but he's my rival on time travel or on a track. So F Alonso 14 is a rival to Jack. So that's actually quite cool. It means that we can actually rate F Alonso's pace.
That's true.
In comparison to what Umbra's saying. So we're looking at someone who is going to be competing for podiums at Tier 1, really. Especially the fact he's staying quite close to Giroud. He's also shown his pace.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. So yeah, his pace looks pretty good right now. But now we would have to just keep an eye on his consistency, I suppose. That's the only other thing to kind of go off.
As Freddie Martinez makes the move on Johnny Stokes, and Ken Doyle there also watching him, ready for a move to happen.
Vedran's lost it in turn 19 as well, but he also has a drive-through for speeding under the VSC, so doesn't look like he's got any damage, but he's going to have to come in, probably serve his drive-through now. Might even actually just retire.
That would be a typical Vedran move, but I don't think he'll retire with going through the drive-through. If he's going to retire, he'll retire on the next lap round.
He might just take it and carry on. That would be nice to see.
Well, he's got the pace. I reckon he's got the pace to actually catch up to the back markers anyway, and make some kind of battle out of it. Because he is a very quick driver.
Yeah. Vedran kind of reminds me a little bit of early Giroud. Giroud used to always be quite quick, but would always struggle, like wheel-to-wheel battle, make silly mistakes or just be too aggressive. I feel like Vedran's quick, but he just gets caught up in a tangle or two, or just like a personal mistake.
Yeah. Well, with basically going towards DXT with Magnus that's looking to join DXT.
Yeah.
He is a Vedran.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Makes a mistake or two in a battle. Not very often anymore. He used to do it a lot more. He's got a lot better over the last few months. But that's how I'd rate him as a Vedran at the moment. When I last seen him race, but that's been a while ago.
Oh, okay. That's fair. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try and find one of his race streams at some point.
Just check on Marina's Racing League. You'll be able to see.
YouTube?
On Facebook.
Oh, okay. Oh, is that someone else that's crashed at turn 19? Was that Krusty T?
Krusty T's had a bit of an off.
He's hit the wall. He's missing an end plate there. So that turn 19 is catching quite a few people out here.
Yeah, I think it's the fact that it's a double kink turn. So you have the initial turn and then you have that little kink back in, which with the have you seen the updated layout?
I haven't actually.
Okay, so they're smoothing off some of the 90-degree the sharp corners.
Yeah.
Turn 5. Well, so basically, let's get on board with
Vedran is coming up to it, I would say.
Yeah, Vedran. So this is all getting smoothed out.
Okay.
It's going to be a smooth kink rather than a sharp chicane, and the hairpin is going to be a bit more widened out. It's going to be widened out, so it's not sharp.
That's cool. Yeah, that's nice.
Then I do believe that they are making the turns where Vedran's coming up to now, the chicane, they're making this a little bit wider, I believe. They're not changing the angles of the corners, so just making it a little bit wider to allow a bit more speed. And then this corner where they're coming up to now, this double chicane back and forth, this is going to be changing. So it's going to smooth out. So it's going to be another long winding hairpin to the left. So no more 90-degree turns in that area, which is this is the plan that should have been. Where all they're going to do now is in these corners here that they're coming up to, these are just going to be sloped out a bit to allow smoother running. It is all in preparation, ready for the 2022 cars.
Makes sense.
Because the air is going to be cleaner, so overtaking should be more on cars chasing. So there'll be less emphasis on the braking points for the overtakes. So there'll be more down the straight or long corners. So hopefully it'll work well.
Yeah, that'll actually be nice to see. Especially for the new cars, 100%. I think this could be a track where could see like the benefits of the new cars, maybe even more so. when you've not got all these sharp like braking zones and stuff like that, which is kind of reliant right now for overtaking.
Yeah, so I'm glad that I do hope the end of the second DR straight they do have some kind of heavy braking to allow that kind of manoeuvre to happen, but it's nice that they've got to shallow the corners out so then the follow people can run through the corners for the overtake as well.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Which is great for spectators, but I'm not too sure how the drivers will feel about that.
Yeah. So we have Joe coming in now. 7 lap old softs. We had Johnny Stokes come in the lap before. So Joe's going to get rid of these soft tyres, and I'm probably going to see him go to the mediums. Yeah, he's going to the mediums. Just trying to get that undercut done. Obviously the softs go up quite a lot, and the undercut's really strong around here, so Joe probably looking to capitalise, maybe actually gain some time back over Thierry, because Thierry he's been putting away at the front quite easily, to be fair. So I think I mean Joe could gain probably 2.5 seconds depending on when Thierry pits. If Thierry pits into this lap, you can still see maybe like 2 seconds-ish if he goes out another one. I mean, you can see a change at the front. It's that strong around here.
Absolutely. Now, just having a little look at the gap between Thierry and Speedy right now is 22.9 seconds. And Thierry, so that is on the cusp really of a pit stop, but it could all switch around. Where Thierry could actually even lose down to Johnny Stokes if it's a bad pit stop. It all depends on his if he times the braking well on the entrance and the exit. If he runs the exit very well for the pit as well.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. And Thierry's looked a little bit tail happy coming through this final sector, and he's staying out again. Okay, he's going to try and elongate these. I don't know.
Well, he's lost 0.8 of a second to Speedy, which
it depends on what play he's going for, because
if we know what Thierry's like with tyres. We know he can make them work longer than anybody else. If he pushes these up to lap 11, he will get a possible one-stop strategy in.
Yeah, although I mean, on Tuesday we had Joe go 16 laps on the mediums, and he said they were absolutely shocking. And he was a lot slower for the last 2-3-ish laps, maybe even 4 laps. So I mean, you don't really want to be taking those mediums much longer than. I mean, ideally you want to do 10 laps on the mediums and they'll be fine. But also you can stretch them out. I'd say maybe you wouldn't want to go past like 14ish though before you lose too much pace. But it does depend on if other people are going to stop again. He might still be okay. As Shirou and Alonso are fighting. So close these two. Or Joe is only 20 seconds behind Thierry now. That's how much time he's lost to Joe. 2 seconds, like in this lap alone.
Yeah, it's a massive jump. He's got to start thinking about pitting now. He's moving over.
I've had to wait and see. No, he's okay. He's going to stretch him out. So I mean, it's like you said, Thierry is pretty kind on tyres. It's just the pace difference. I mean, you'll probably start seeing Shirou and Alonso. I mean, obviously he's kind of lucky because they're battling. But even with them battling, with how much the softs go off, you can still see him gain.
Oh,
and
safety car!
This has played. Wow. But
is it going to benefit Thierry as much as what you'd want it to be?
Actually, thinking about it, he's not far enough around. If that had happened 20 seconds earlier, it would have been absolutely perfect.
Well, Speedy's coming to the pits.
Okay. Going for a fresh set of mediums. So he's going to try and go to the end.
Yeah, it's one of those things now. He's for fresh set of mediums. He's got to go to the end on 18 lap mediums. Well, it's got to be 19 laps by the time he gets round. So Thierry has got that buffer now to Speedy now. So Speedy's 40 seconds behind. under safety car. That's a massive gap.
It is a big gap. The only thing I'm worried about is if, because you know sometimes it goes, I'll catch a safety car queue even if the safety car hasn't caught up yet. So if Joe gets released to kind of catch up, then that could screw Thierry. But I think he might be alright. He might actually get away with this, and he's coming through just about to start the final sector, or has started the final sector, I should say.
Yeah, so
yeah, that's actually played really well into Thierry's hands, to be fair.
Yeah, so Thierry's race could be saved by this safety car. But so we've got Chiru, we've got F. Alonso, Freddie Martinez, Ken Doyle still yet to pit as well as Thierry. If you were on those medium tyres right now, would you pit?
For the 9 lap ones, yeah, I would.
And they all did. They've all got in. So yeah. we're gonna watch this gap now. Let's see how far up Thierry can get himself. See how far speed he can get himself with these drivers all jumping in the pits.
I mean, he's miles away.
He is miles away, so I don't think it's going to make any difference.
Yeah, no, this is actually. I mean, obviously he pitted. If he hadn't have pitted, you could see him take. Probably see him take the lead there, but it'd be close actually. Still would have been close. I mean, fresh set of mediums. I know Joe can take him 16 laps because I've seen him take him 16 laps. Yeah. So that's kind of gonna be around what he would be doing because obviously the safety laps don't count.
Oh, he
keep the wear low.
Yeah. So it's basically it's a 19.4, which is a lot less than what he was on before because it was just over 20 seconds before. The pits is on 60. So yeah, I think he would have just pipped Thierry if Scotty didn't pit. But
interesting to see Ken's gone to the softs, which pretty much is guarantees that he's going to stop again. He's looking, I think, after the safety car to try and make some overtakes, get up there, and maybe even try and pull away, burn this set of softs down into the ground, and come in probably around lap 18, 19 for another set, or maybe go to the mediums.
Yeah, well, at the moment, the only person Ken really is battling is his teammate. Really, his teammate is the one he's got to be in front of. Speedy needs 3 points more than Ken to take second in the championship. So
okay. See, that's a tough one because obviously I feel like Joe will try and get these to the end. Barring another safety car, Joe will go to the end on these. I would say 100% sure. Ken has to pit again, so he needs to pull a big gap. He needs to overtake and pull a big gap, but then he's got 4 cars in front of him that's going to hinder that.
Yeah, he's got to see. Ken needed to go to switch tyre. He was on the medium. He started on the medium tyre, so he needs to switch tyre. If he went onto the hards, it's race over. Really, basically comparing himself to mediums and softs that would have been behind him. So the soft tyre was the only option he could have gone for. He dives in. He's got to throw himself a set of medium tyres on.
Yeah.
But would you have done that yourself? Would you have gone in now and put a set of mediums on, thinking about getting to the end? It gives yourself a cheap pit stop, but you're putting yourself back at the back of the grid.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's something I've done before. I've come in, made a choice of the tyres, and then gone, you know what? Actually, let's do this. Because sometimes you do it, and because you're expecting maybe other drivers to do other things.
Yeah.
And then maybe they do something, and you're just like, well, you know what? I can do this one lap under the safety car, and come back out and still be right on the back of him. And if you trust, like Ken probably trusts his pace, thinking that he can probably still get some overtakes done, even on a similar sort of tyre. And he knows that the people on softs are going to have to pit again. So probably a smart move, to be fair. He has a chance of getting his mediums to the end. Those softs. I mean, you're talking about losing like 22 seconds in the pit stop, like kind of minimum.
Yeah.
So if you think you're going to lose out on that, it's one of them.
Yeah, it's just I do honestly think that it's regarding this, it's one of those situations where it depends on the driver themselves whether he thinks he can make up that gap. being on those mediums, or whether he should have stayed on the softs to increase the gap to then pit. But then it would be under racing conditions, and he wouldn't get the buffer, the slowed down time that you get with a safety car, as a safety car has been announced to be going in. Let's watch Thierry's control over the pack. So we've got Johnny Stokes with a penalty with Scotty Harris.
Oh, two teammates coming together.
Right, schoolboy error that is, boys.
I wonder if Ken didn't think that he was quick enough to... I mean, obviously you've got Alonso on hards, but maybe Ken didn't think he was quite quick enough to maybe like take on Shrew and Thierry, and thought that's kind of going to hinder his game plan. Because if you go to a set of softs, you've got to want to think that you've got to make the overtakes quickly and then pull away before coming in for your last stop.
Yeah, but if he's going to have the game plan against Speedy only, then he could have actually used Thierry and Shrew to drag him along to increase that gap. As Thierry goes, Shrew stayed with him, but Alonso was caught a little bit napping there. But
yeah,
Freddie,
I think Alonso's going to struggle when he's opening a couple of laps with those hard tyres.
Yeah, I think all these drivers have done well really to respond, apart from Speedy. Speedy was like a bit sluggish on the go. So was Scotty. Scotty got caught napping really by the whole thing going.
Yeah, he's dropped out of a second from Joe already, just from that slow restart, and obviously he's got his teammate, and Vedran and Ken right behind.
Yeah, so Speedy was like dropped to almost a second, but managed to claw it back down to 6/10. But Freddie Martinez all over the back of F. Alonso right now. Looks for a move, but decides not to at this point. Smart
Johnny
decision.
Stokes got past Scott Harris as well, coming down that straight.
Freddie Martinez should be making light work of Alonso right now, because he is on the medium tyres. Those hards have still got some time to go to get to operational awareness. Which usually kicks in.
As well.
Yeah, it usually kicks in lap 8 around here, as F. Alonso picks up a 3-second time penalty. Could basically lose out the podium with that penalty.
He could indeed.
Locks up there into turn 17. So it's all going for Freddie Martinez, getting himself, could possibly get himself up into third quite early on in this race.
Yeah, I mean, Joe's keeping touch as well. Joe's right on the back of Freddie, so Alonso's going to be the kind of the pivotal guy at the moment. You're going to see Thierry and Shuri pulling away, and then Alonso's going to be dropping back just because he's in the hard tyre mainly, and then it's up to Freddie Martinez and Joe Roberts to try and get past him quickly. And you've got Johnny Stokes joining the party as well. Scott Harris is definitely struggling, more than 1.6 seconds behind his teammate at this stage.
Yeah, did Scott Harris allow Johnny Stokes to go in front, or was it?
He might have given up. When I switched to it, like Johnny was in head already, so I think it might have been a bit of a let go.
Yeah. Oh, it's either that or I've read that wrong, but Scotty Harris really dropping off, because Johnny Stokes, because these were over a second behind, and Johnny Stokes has managed to bring that down to 2/10, which is a fantastic go, and catching up over a second in one lap. But these drivers in front, I think Freddie's getting held up by Alonso right now, because Alonso's dropped off 1.5 seconds.
Yeah. So if Freddie doesn't get past him soon, then I mean it's a tough one, because the mediums are quicker and the mediums do last quite a lot of laps, right? But then if Alonso keeps them behind and you start getting to like lap 8 to 10, you'll start seeing the hards kind of, you know, the wear to pacing kind of starts equalising, and then you'll see Alonso having a better grip and probably getting the pace back as well. So he needs to get the job done next lap, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because it's lap 8's what they call the tyre. For around here is what they call the tyre flip. So obviously it's like your medium tyres are your benchmarker. That's your middle marker. This is for you viewers out there. So if you in your head, if you draw a yellow line, that's your benchmarker for going horizontal line. That's your benchmarker for your mediums. Your red marker will be above that up to lap 8, and it'll go lower. So you draw a line going across that, and then you've got to do the opposite for the hard tyres with a white line. You'll see it all flips over at lap 8. So your hard tyres become the quicker tyre, your medium tyres will stay as the medium tyre, and your soft tyre becomes the slow tyre at lap 8. As Freddie makes the move.
Oh, the inside of Alonso, but Alonso's holding it round, and now he gets the inside line. Bit of argy-bargy. That was nice. Tough but fair.
Great attempt, and Alonso's done the same thing again.
I really dislike people breaking trying to break the toe that aggressively. I don't like it in general. Oh, and Freddie's run deep.
Excuse me.
Oh, and I think Alonso's going to have the inside line now.
Great wheel-to-wheel battle between these two.
It is nice, and Joe's just waiting to hit his lips and get through.
Freddie Martinez, because he had that wider line, he didn't have to brake as much, so he had a lot more carrying speed through that corner, which gave him the lead. So now Freddie just needs to open up that throttle, get some gap between himself and F. Alonso, and allow Speedy to do his thing.
Yeah, Joe needs to get past Alonso quickly as well, because he's got Johnny Stokes for company, and Scotty Harris is now. I don't know if it's a case of they're being held up a little bit or what, but Scotty Harris has started to come into the picture.
Yeah, absolutely. Ken Doyle's still like over a second away behind Scotty Harris, but I'm sure with the battling going on the front, he'll start catching that up soon. Speedy be quite interested to see where his teammate finishes right now, because if it all ends here, Speedy will be getting second in the standings.
That is true. That is true.
I just seen a message from Izzy saying my heart can't handle this. So she's on the edge of the seat right now, is Izzy, watching this. Obviously she's a big fan of Thierry, a big fan of Ken Doyle. So
yeah, of course. Who isn't?
Me, I'm not.
Yeah, but you don't like anyone. You don't support anyone.
Oh, out of these, I think I'd cheer on Speedy if I had to pick any of these.
So I'm neutral.
The reason why I'd love to see Speedy be part of DXT, because then he'll be DXT sausage.
DXT long sausage.
Oh.
Just rumours, obviously. Just rumours.
Yeah, just rumours. No proof at the moment.
No proof. But that's how you get to DXT.
Yeah,
I've
heard it was skinless.
Yeah.
Skinless sausages.
Yeah, it's like if you peel a saveloy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So Freddie's doing a good job of holding him up, but he's now almost 4 seconds off the back of Chiru. Chiru and Thierry pulling away at the front. Oh, sorry, that's Freddie. And then Alonso 1.8 back. He's still holding his own. Joe can't find a way past, and now it's just a bit of a trade. Now you've got Johnny Stokes right behind Joe. Scotty Harris has caught back up to his teammate, and Ken Doyle now is even closer. And then Veteran's fallen off at the back.
Well, Veteran, he's an assist tier driver. He doesn't race with manual gears or no TC, so he's actually just given it a go just to bolster the numbers. So fair play to him, and he's, to be honest,
he's done alright then in that case.
For someone, this is where Teely Matty was a few weeks ago. Just hanging in there, I'd say. Yeah. So Teely Matty's done well. Did really well on his first race. His second race was a lot better. He would have done better again today, but crashed out. So Vedran doing fantastically well. So keep it up. Hopefully we'll see you in no assists very soon as a full-time driver. So
we'll be interested to see how the tiers pan out actually for next season, especially with all the changes. And we have, Johnny Stokes? Yeah, Johnny Stokes
is in the pits.
He's going to come in and put a set of. Well, he might go for another set of softs, you know.
I'd go for another set.
Mediums,
I would have went for another lap, and then stick a set of softs. Another lap. Go for another set of soft tyres. Just one more lap for a set of softs. Because it shouldn't really be going on. He's gone on for mediums. I don't understand why going for mediums for 10 laps.
Yeah, I think it's just because how bad the softs get. He could long them out, especially lower fuel and everything like that, but medium's probably the safer play. Plus, if the safety car comes out, he could just stay out and try and go for track position.
Absolutely, that's a good point. But then he's got to catch up first before he can basically make that plan work. Yeah. Chances of a safety car coming out, though, at the moment it's quite high with the battles between Speedy and F. Alonso, because F. Alonso doesn't make that quick switch, which we've seen him do a few times. But Speedy, what a move!
Yeah, that was nice. Got the job done there, and now needs to try and pull away. And I'm sure he'll be watching the leaderboard, waiting to see where Ken is. Knows that he has to beat Ken by 3 points.
Yeah, so currently at the moment we've got Thierry, who's first, and Charoux is second with the fastest lap as well. So that's 25 for Tierney, 19 for Charoux. Fred Head on 15, 12 points for Speedy, 10 for Alonso, 8 for Scotty Harris, and 6 for Kenny. So he's got 6 points into hand. So
yeah. The problem is it changes so much just with like one overtake.
Yeah, it does change
where the points go. So I mean, if Ken's looking pretty feisty up behind Scotty right now. So if he gets Scotty, gains another 2 points.
Yeah, which means that there's a point in it.
Yeah. So he needs to get past. He needs to get past Scotty, and then dispatch Alonso.
And then he just has to stay behind for Speedy.
Yeah. Kenny's looking to go around the outside of Scotty here. Oh, and Scotty broke so much earlier then. I don't know if that's just poor tyres. That might be poor tyres, or maybe you just thought.
He backed out. I reckon he backed out of that on the whole purpose.
Yeah,
that he was going to battle that. Then. So Speedy doing exactly what F. Alonso did to drivers past. Broke the toe really hard, aggressively, but yeah, kept it well, kept his position in fourth. Ken Doyle just needing this one overtake to hold second. Now, obviously, there is penalties involved in this as well. Ken Doyle not picking up a single one so far, which basically saves it on a silver platter to him, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, Freddie Martinez is coming in for a set of softs.
And obviously,
I'm assuming it's softs.
Yeah, so F. Alonso will be a reserve.
Yeah.
Charoux will be a reserve. So Speedy will be in second, and Ken will be in third. So Speedy will get 18.
That's 3 points.
And Ken will get 15. So that's 3 points. That puts him tied into second. Then they'll have to. The Stewards will have to then go through all the races in the past and see who's had the most first places.
I don't think any of them have had a win, have they?
I'm sure they've got one of them's got to have had a win at least. And then if they haven't had a win, it'll go down to second places. Who's had the most second places in their season? So it just goes down like that. Obviously, that's the official way of deeming the joint points, where
Alonso's got back past Speedy.
Oh, but like the thing is, like
obviously it doesn't make any difference, but it just means that now Ken is right behind Speedy.
Yeah, it just gives Ken this guy's like, oh, gotta catch him up.
Yeah. Pressure tyres as well. That 2 lap difference is massive, especially getting into these late stages.
Yeah, definitely. As he said, Ken has a win, but I don't think Joe does. So joint points Ken would get. Joe's
got a bit back-endy there as well.
So Speedy is just hoping that Freddie Martinez makes some kind of amazing run at the end and catches these drivers up and takes a few points away from Ken to steal second.
The problem Joe's having right now is he's actually struggling a little bit to keep up with Alonso.
Yeah, so this could be Ken Doyle's chance to make the overtake?
Depending on how, I mean, obviously they both got DRS right now. But if Alonso can pull away and keep that second next lap, because he was close, he was like 9 tenths behind. But I think those tyres are starting to have a bit more grip now than those mediums.
Well, Ken's ERS is slightly higher than Speedy's, as Speedy makes the move past Alonso, but
Speedy's
yes.
running on fumes. Oh, nice overtake there by Joe.
That was a very nice.
That.
So Ken has now got to think about doing a similar kind of move. Yeah, it'll be quite interesting to see how this pans out at the end of this, when the dust settles and the numbers are toted, and yeah, it'll be really, really interesting to see who's the one who does pick up that second place between the two Williams drivers, which it's quite rare to say this, isn't it, throughout the F1 world, that Williams setting Joe going for second in the championship.
That's it. Yeah, too right.
And winning the driver constructors is just like unheard of. Freddie Martinez picks up the fastest lap, so he takes it. He takes that point for himself. Now that solitude point could be something that Speedy would have needed for himself, really, if he could.
Oh, 100%. I mean, also Freddie Martinez, he was 12 seconds behind. He's now only 9.1, so those softs treating him pretty good, and he's making big inroads. But I'm just not sure if there's enough laps left before the softs start getting a bit tired as well.
Yeah, well, he's done that. He's took off 2.5 seconds in one lap.
Yeah.
He carries on that for another 4 laps. He'll still being within effective range to making a move on Ken Doyle. But
yeah,
Ken is.
Also got Joe back.
Yeah, and Ken's right there. Ken is. I think Ken might be getting a bit lightheaded with the fumes coming out of those two cars in front of him.
Yeah, not surprised.
Because he is almost sucking on the exhaust of Speedy right now.
So, tyre life wise, you've got Ken on 9 lap old mediums, Speedy on 11 lap old, and like I said, Joe's going to hit that terrible cliff on the mediums. Probably, I mean, obviously tyre wear comes into it, but I can't imagine Joe's that much nicer that he's going to be on par with 2 laps difference.
I'm going between the two cars, so Speedy and Ken. Now, the darker the tyre, the higher the wear, is what the rule is. And look at it on my screen, it looks like Ken's tyres are a little bit darker than Speedy's.
Do you reckon?
So obviously that's my screen, so obviously everybody may see differently.
I mean, to be fair, looking at them now, they look relatively similar.
They do look very similar. It's just a slight little shade.
Colour, but
yeah, there's a little bit more. I say a little darker. There's a bit more of a prominent line on Ken Doyle's rather than Speedy's. So maybe Speedy's taking a bit more care with those tyres. Maybe there's a tyre pressure difference between the two drivers.
It is possible. And who's that? Is that veteran that we have? Yeah, veteran spinning. Oh, and he's almost spun coming back on there as well.
You know, I'll get a fair play to him. The guy is doing fantastically well for someone who's never really driven. He's got a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. But the stupid thing is he stopped and he didn't really come off the track. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, this game's so tragic sometimes, isn't it?
He rejoined the circuit safely.
Yeah, there's no one even around him. You know what I mean?
He didn't gain an advantage at all. He's actually lost out because of what he done, what happened. So I don't understand why they would get a penalty. Obviously, if there was a live steward, then they would take that off. As Sharish picked up another penalty for multiple warnings. Freddie's down to 5.6 seconds.
Yeah, he is a man on a mission right now, closing that gap down massively. I reckon at this pace, 2 more laps and he'll be on the back of him. Obviously the main difference is here, Speedy has that penalty and Ken doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's only 3 seconds, but I don't know how close Joe is to another one either. Obviously that's the one that he picked up really early on in the race. I don't know how close Ken is to a penalty, but if Ken keeps it clean and stays, you know, within this gap, then we'll see him pip him on the line.
Yeah, and it seems like Freddie Martinez has become stagnant now with these times. They're kind of sitting at the 5.5 mark, so they're up and down at that point. So keep an eye on that time as it goes. It's just dropped down to less than 5 seconds, so I'm expecting that to change. As Ken is now right behind Speedy again. Is Ken going to be able to make a move soon? Johnny Stokes picks up a 3-second penalty.
Ken's looked a lot smoother through that final sector there. He was hitting those apexes lovely.
Yeah, but Speedy gets a better run out of that last corner. So,
Freddie Martinez 4 seconds now, under 4 seconds. So that time did stagnate a little bit. Didn't take as much out as he has been.
Yeah, but
still enough.
1.5 seconds he's took out in sector 3 alone.
Yeah. And obviously these guys' mediums are only getting worse as well, whereas his softs are still pretty healthy at 4 laps.
Yeah, they've got another 4 laps in them before they become a bit tough to work with. But that'll be the race over by that time.
Yeah. That is it.
Could Freddie Martinez cause an upset by taking that place of Ken Doyle?
Well, this is the thing.
And if Speedy holds it,
I mean, Speedy's penalty is the main thing that's ruining him right now. But yeah. Ken really needs to think about making that move on Joe, or at least getting in a position to. So when Freddie's, you know, close to that DRS zone, he makes the move. So then Joe's got to defend from Freddie.
Yeah.
That would be probably the most optimum thing to do.
So because we're so focused on this battle, we'll just quickly check it over on the front leaders. That Thierry has got a 1 second gap over Charoux. 1.1 is the mark really. Doesn't seem to be changing much.
Oh, Joe's picked up another penalty.
Oh, that's it now. That's effectively his race over really. His second place in the championship all over really.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was actually hoping for a bit of an upset moment at the end where Freddie Martinez comes in and causes an upset. Still could. He's got 2.5 laps to go, and he is in with 1.5 seconds.
Ken's almost lost it. They kept it together, but luckily he didn't lose too much. Probably about half a second-ish.
Well,
luckily he had the DRS to gain most of that back though, to be fair.
Well, this is the point now where this is where we see Freddie stagnant, where the cars seem to be equal at pace going down the back straight. We'll see how Freddie handles sector 3, because this is the battle I want to see. This is where I want to see Freddie coming in. Joe.
Oh, and Ken's going up the inside of Joe.
Done exactly what you said he was going to do.
Yeah.
Freddie
was perfect timing.
Freddie's coming in for the battle, and that's it. Ken's like, I'm getting out of this now.
Yeah, and I think Joe's kind of hit that 15 lap mark on the mediums where they're just tragic, and he's also been running on fumes on ERS for quite a while now, whereas Ken has been pretty healthy, so he played a blinder. If that was his plan. No, Kenny D. And now that doesn't matter about Joe's 6 seconds. Oh my gosh. And that's going to put some savage wear on Ken's tyres as well.
Oh my goodness, this is the climax ended up with me kind of looking for.
The thing is, if Ken can get the hammer down, it's still possible for him to get in front of Joe from penalties.
But then it's not. It's Joe needs to stay in front of
yeah, he does.
Speedy
in front of Freddie.
Freddie, yeah, because Speedy needs that. Speedy needs the 4 points.
He does. And now I'm thinking here, Freddie with more ERS, DRS going to be wide open. This should be easy pickings, to be fair. Not much Joe can do here, I don't think. Running out of ERS, absolutely flatlining. And there we go, Freddie Martinez round the inside.
Oh, Freddie Martinez. Right at the end, he's really come alive, hasn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah, he has. He has indeed. Played it well, got the speed, got those soft tyres going. So now we're looking at Freddie Martinez being second, Joe being third, Ken being fourth. So Ken picking up 12 points, Joe picking up 15. It's still close, but Ken could still, if he can, he only needs to find 8/10 of a second to get back within that the danger zone for Joe.
Yeah, but then like he needs that 8/10 of a second as we are on the final lap.
Joe got disqualified. Wow.
I think Sharu done that on purpose. I think he disqualified himself so he wasn't holding up any of the this is what Sharu does. He either retires or disqualifies himself, so he's not in the contention of any points. So it gives less work for the stewards and the admin to work out who gets what points.
Fair enough.
So we'll say that was the reason why he disqualified himself. Probably parked himself in a very ridiculous area.
Yeah. And the gap now between Ken and Joe is literally teetering between 5.9 and 6 seconds here, but I think now, I mean, it's again, those medium tyres of Joe are going to be so poor, there's not much he'll be able to do. Look how much Freddie Martinez has closed up to Alonso as well, jeez. Yeah. Almost within that 1 second. Might even fancy a cheeky little late lunge in sector 3. It's not really possible, but
just imagine if he could find the space to do it. It looks like he's just almost lost it there.
Yeah. I mean, he's got so much grip actually. I mean, I know it's a short run to the line, but with the traction he's got, he could swing it and pull to the side.
He needs to get a lot closer to Alonso.
Yeah, he's not close enough now. He needs to be right on the back of him.
But he'll still get fair second because of the penalties as well.
Go. Oh no, we're going to see Joe cross the line. And Joe's fucking hit the wall. And here comes Kenny D. Crosses the line.
Takes fourth.
To take that fourth or third. Because Alonso's in a reserve,
It was Alonso's a reserve as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Right. Alonso did well though, to be fair to him. Don't take anything away from him. If he's a reserve or not, he's done well. Picked a decent strategy, had the pace.
I think all the drivers today have done really well. Yeah, Chavu was fantastic, being quite close to Thierry throughout the race. Thierry, a fantastic. Yeah, absolutely quality racing. Now, I hate Abu Dhabi, but this race was actually quite entertaining for a severely lessened grid. It was actually quite interesting, especially the whole Ken Doyle Speedy debacle. What's your thoughts on that race then?
Yeah, no, the thing with this track, like I say, it can be absolutely tragic, but this race we had that one main point of, Joe needed to finish in front of Ken, so there was that battle going on, and there's a few other little battles, some nice overtakes going on, and luckily it lasted long enough. It wasn't just a case of, at the start or after a pit stop, it was literally throughout the whole race. There was some battle going on that we could kind of focus on, which made it a little bit better.
Vedran did donuts in sector 3 and got picked up a 10-second penalty for it.
Wow.
So
that's pretty extreme. We almost lost it.
Yeah, I think fair play to the guy. He's come in, decided to, I'll do a race. He's gone for another donut.
And here he goes. Joe's car still on the start straight. Lovely.
And there we go. Right, so who is it that we need to get in for our final interviews? I think, to be honest, I think we should get.
You get Alonso in anyway.
Yeah, I was thinking getting Ken and Speedy in as well, because it's the top three. If we get the top three for the championships, because it's the last time we're going to be speaking to them.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
So we've got Thierry's already in. Yeah, so we just need Ken and Speedy. We'll do the top three of the championship rather than the top three of the race. Right. Let's see if I can find them. Right, so there's one. Let's find Speedy. Oh, Speedy's already in there, so we just need him to join us. Alright. Yeah, we'll obviously I've invited them all. We'll just start with Thierry anyway. So Thierry, winning the last race of the season, already being crowned champion. How do you feel your race went today?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it went fine. Have again, and then soft stints went pretty well. Just maintained the gap to behind, around about like 3 seconds, just to be safe for any penalty. And then Joe, I think he committed an undercut on me, but I decided to do one stop, which worked out perfectly as the safety car came out right at the lap I was going to pit. So yeah, I had the luck of Hamilton, I guess. But yeah, after that I had a really good battle with Giroux, and yeah, he kept me on my toes for the whole race, and it was fun to battle. And unfortunately that he got disqualified, I think, because of the tire rules.
Oh, was that the tire rules, was it?
Yeah, because he started on mediums and he was after the safety car also on mediums.
I did not realise that. I thought it was something to do with the fact that he was just thinking, oh, I'm going to he was a reserve, he was just going to get himself disqualified so it didn't affect the race results at the end. But that could have been the reason why he stuck on the mediums.
Yeah, true.
Didn't affect it, which is something Giroux has done in the past anyway. Not to affect the rules, the tables really. So we're gonna like, so obviously Abu Dhabi is one of those races. For a commentator's side, it's quite a boring race to commentate on, but today was quite eventful between the two Williams drivers. So we're gonna ask a question: how do you feel your whole season's gone? And what race would you say was your favourite?
Season went pretty well, just a little bit off the pace in the first couple of races, but after, I think it was Singapore, went pretty well. my favorite race was maybe Silverstone, because that was just a really close race with Harry and Joe, and yeah, I loved that race, and I loved the track, and it was a very good race, and I came out as a winner, so that's probably my favorite race of the season.
I think that was the first race I actually commentated on for No Assists, if I remember rightly. I think I jumped in to cover one of the main DXT lads at that point. But yeah, I can see that was if I remember rightly, that was a very close race between everybody, which has been a trademark for Tier 2, now Tier 1. No Assists being a very close race between all drivers. But yeah, so who would you say was your biggest threat on the racetrack throughout the season?
Ooh,
Please remember Kendall's in the chat. Kendall's in the chat as well, so you can pick them up.
Yeah, both the Williams boys. Yeah, I mean, basically the top 5 or 6 from the championship standing. So Mano, Ken and Joe, and Harry was a threat as well. And yeah, now I'm probably going to forget someone. Freddy. Basically, the top 5 or 7 were just really guys to watch out for.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, I've seen like half the races of the season, so I can only comment on that. But you've had some fantastic moments in the season. Managed to stretching out Russia, stretching out tyres beyond unrecognisable doubt. Really, that took tyre a set of was it a set of mediums, wasn't it? Further than what most people taking hards or what on one race, which was
Russia, yeah.
It was something beyond, and then that was on in nationals, and then all of a sudden everybody was trying to do it in regionals, thinking that they could do the same, but they could not replicate your magic.
I'm gonna be honest on that, because I even surprised myself. So, yeah, I just hoped for another safety car, but when it didn't come out, I was just like, fuck it, I'll just go to the end. It's my only way to be at the front, I guess. And yeah, it played out. It played out beautifully, and I really had a lot of luck that Amar and Axeri and Shura, I think it was, were in a tight battle. So they were just going side to side in almost every corner, which basically cost them a lot of time. So yeah, I took the advantage of that, and yeah, that was also one of my favorite races.
Yeah, because that was one where that was the reason why I didn't mind Russia this season, was because of that race. Amar was really wound up because of the fact that he knew he could catch you, but he couldn't get past the car in front of him to start making that move against you, because you had like 9 seconds on him, 6 laps to go, and he just couldn't catch up with you. But absolutely fantastic. Yeah. It's been amazing to commentate on your races.
Thank you.
Got to quickly switch over to Ken. Ken, are you still there, mate?
I'm here.
Ken, absolutely fantastic. Second in the championship. How do you feel like your race went today?
It was frustrating, just being stuck behind Eduardo on the hard tyres, 7 jaw. We'd get past him. Then with DRS he was just able to stay away and just cost us a lot of time, we both felt. So I think without that we could have been a bit closer to Thierry, but in the end it is what it is, and still managed to get a podium even with a bit of a spin. Last few laps left Freddie past.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. See, like during that race, did you actually ever think about the final standings of the Drivers' Championship? Was that ever in your mind?
Not really. Just trying to get as good of a result as I could in the race, and then whatever happened with the standings happened. wasn't able to get first, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah, it was one of those things. But like for us, it was that was what we was focusing on, because it was 3 points between you and Speedy at the beginning of this race, so we knew there was it's just a couple of places would do it for us. So it was very close at one point where we thought, like, hold it, Speedy could actually pip you for this. Yeah.
I was just outside the penalty, but I think if we were 11 on 5, I would have got it anyway, because I have a win of people.
Yeah, well, that's what I was looking at, because it was like it was saying if the penalties, if the points were the same, who would have the most wins between them would get it. But yeah, it was really, really interesting for a lot of the race. Now, what's been your highlight of the season so far?
Probably kind of have to say Monaco, because it was the only race I won, but China and Silverstone were good races as well, being the boomerang and coming back through the field.
Alright, so it says, guys, get off LF the menus. We can't hear him. Have you got your settings on the correct?
I don't know, I don't think I changed anything.
Oh no, it's just they say they can't hear you, because I went into the menus to where sort out getting Freddie an invite.
I have invited Fred. But
oh, you have?
He hasn't joined.
Alright.
But yeah, if you go to the menu and don't stay in game, they can't hear other people.
Oh right, fair enough. Sorry. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Yeah. So you say Silverstone in China was quite good races as well, and Monaco being your highlights. Who would you say, apart from obviously your teammate, who would you say your biggest rival was on the season?
I have to say Thierry. He was the one all of us were trying to beat, but like he said, it was really top 5 or 6 drivers in the league were all fairly close, and any race any of us could have ended up winning or being on the podium, so it was fun having a lot of drivers that were able to be near the front.
Yeah, well, yeah. It was like a really, really close season throughout the races. Yeah, it's I gotta say, it's like it's when, like, I've said this to Herbert, it's one of the best tiers I've ever commentated on, just because of how close the battles were, and you being a highlight. A lot of the races you've got a recovery drive like no other, which is absolutely fantastic. Is there a secret between your recovery drives?
I just have to send it. Hope for the best.
Freddie's can you send another invite? You'll have to find it on the party menu, mate. You should be able to find us on the party. But any questions from you, Neva, for the two drivers we've got in the chat so far?
Right, help if I unmute my mic. Ken, when you were behind Joe and you had Freddie coming up behind you, were you thinking at some point when he got close enough you were going to make the move on Joe to then make sure he was under pressure from Freddie? Because I thought, because you had so much more ERS in him, and like Joe was running on fumes, and I thought, I was saying to Gaz, I was like, I reckon as soon as Freddie gets within, like, you know, in that kind of 1 point something area, Ken will go get past Joe, and then Joe will have to deal with it. And then you did. It could be like complete coincidence, but
no, Joe just told me to get past at that time if I was able to, and then a few corners later I spun it and let everyone back through us anyway, so it didn't really matter in the end.
that is true. That is true. It just worked out. I thought I was an absolute genius, but obviously I'm not. I'm still stupid. And well, Thierry, you have just been an absolute animal this season. I think, like across every single league I've seen you race. You've always been quick, but now you've become really quick, and you're still super consistent. What's been your secret?
Experimenting with setups, I guess. Yeah, just try different setups and sometimes Google or go to YouTube and see what the eSport guys are using for setups, and then basically customizing what you feel in the wheel or in your controller, and that was my that was basically the key to success, I guess.
Okay, and I think one of the most important things, obviously, is what do you have for breakfast? Because that's what all good sportsmen are.
Porridge. No, I don't know. I'm not Bottas, so don't worry about it. But no, I'll just have a sandwich, I guess. I don't. To be honest, I don't really like breakfast. I don't know why, but usually I'll just skip them and go to the to lunch.
Okay. So what you're saying is, to be successful, skip breakfast, boys, girls. It's not the most important meal of the day. If you want to be successful like Thierry, just go straight to lunch.
Exactly.
Love it.
I'll just suck up some air, and that's my breakfast, basically.
Alright, so I've just seen Speedy jump into the chat. Is Speedy there?
Yes. Yeah.
Speedy, your third championship, down to the wire right at the end there with Ken. How did you feel like your race went?
I think probably Ken probably described it in a way. It was very, very irritating. I think. Yeah, there's some words that I can't speak of here, but yeah, it was very, very frustrating race. I kind of expected people to try and go to the end because I experimented it in regionals, but apart from that, it's fine. It was my fault for getting too much wheel spin off the start that let Giroux by, and then from there I think Thierry had the legs in order just to keep the gap, because on this track, on the controller, the softs just feel horrible after 3 laps.
Yeah. So me and her, Nevo, were more focused about your drivers' championship battle with Ken at the end, with it being 3 points before the race. Was that ever on your mind today?
It was, but honestly, I'd rather just. I think I kind of said to myself, I'd rather wrap up the constructors than defending hard and then potentially taking us both out, and then obviously then TP or Jerry wins. So I kind of just made a conscious decision just to go for the constructors and win that, and yeah, just win the constructors, because I don't think I've done that. I haven't done that before. So yeah.
Oh, so it's a personal achievement for you to get the constructors with a teammate then?
Yeah.
Oh, weren't you so lucky to have a good teammate like Ken then?
Yeah. Ken's been, even though the spins at the beginning of the season, he's been a very, very good teammate, and he stuck. Obviously, he's a member of the committee, but anyway, he could have said, "Oh, I don't want to do this," when the numbers was below. So yeah, he's been a good teammate, sticking around. Sadly, we couldn't get the driver's title, but I'm very happy getting the constructors.
Oh, absolutely. So, what's been your highlight for the season then?
I would say it's quite hard because I never led a championship properly. So I would say the 3 races I led the championship, and then obviously it kind of went downhill from bar when somebody went on my account and kicked me out. So yeah, it went down here from there. My qualifying wasn't particularly good, and I think just the interest of the game kind of I didn't really practice that much, which meant obviously the practice obviously shows in like the performances on Saturday. Yeah, so my highlight of the race was probably Monaco, just due to the fact that that's it. I think, did we get? I don't know if we got a 1-2. Either a 1-2 or we came 1-3. But I think that for me was the race, because it's so much endurance to that race, and for me that was probably my favourite. I've been podiums a lot of times this season. I haven't won any, but I've been podiums a lot of times. So it's been, you could name quite a lot of them.
Absolutely brilliant. Now, yeah, so basically, thank you guys for joining us. Yeah, there's a lot of gone on throughout the season. Fantastic racing from all the drivers who've taken part this season. I can't believe it. It's now over. Probably one of the best. One of the best championships I've ever commented on, just because of how close all the drivers were. So I'm going to wrap it up for the tonight and the season. Big thank you to Nevo for joining me today. I really needed a wingman, so thanks, Nevo.
So good.
Congratulations to the drivers today, Thierry, Ken and Freddie Martinez for getting the podium, and the drivers that we spoke to today for being the top 3 in the drivers championship, and the winners of the constructor championship, which is Williams. Absolutely well done, brilliant. Thanks very much to every single one of the drivers this season, which has given myself, Nevo and Herbo some fantastic races to commentate on. So many that I can't really think of one that I said was the best I've ever commentated on from this tier, because I think they've all been action packed and very clean racing. So that was absolutely brilliant. Can't wait for next season. So guys, until then, we'll keep you updated via the Discord, and you'll see a few things from myself, giving you little updates. We'll probably drop it on the Heads Up podcast as well when we're back up running again for the new season with international eSport racing. But guys, until then, good night.